hearing. We've got two pieces of it today. The first one is going to be the return filing of charges that is eligible for the recording. At one point after that, there will be a tweet that goes out at courts indicating that the recording is to have stopped. At that point, the hearing may continue. You're welcome to observe online, but the recording is prohibited at that point. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, what is the question?
Please be seated.
Good morning, guys. I'm barely up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Division 21 of the 4th Judicial District here in Colorado Springs. Before we call the first case this morning, it is worth noting that the court received a request for expanded media coverage in the case of the people of the state of Colorado versus Anderson Aldridge. The court has granted that request, which means that the media, in addition to its usual ability to attend the proceedings and report on this matter, has also been granted permission to record, live stream, and rebroadcast certain portions of the hearing this morning. Both the public and the media should keep in mind that the court must balance the freedom of the press with the rights of the parties to due process and a fair trial. In service of that mission, Colorado law provides that the court retains the power to curtail expanded media coverage when the needs of the case dictate. The media and the public are encouraged to view my order at the Colorado Judicial website and the website for the 4th Judicial District here in Colorado Springs. I have approved expanded media coverage only for the filing of charges portion of today's hearing. I will notify you when that portion of the hearing is complete. At such time, recording of the proceedings must cease. The media and the public are welcome to attend the remainder of the hearing, but no further recording or live streaming is allowed. For attendees who are physically present in the courtroom, you are reminded that appropriate courtroom behavior is required. Audible outbursts or other interruptive behavior is not allowed. Any violation of these orders will subject the violator to the loss of the right to attend these proceedings and/or sanctions for contempt of court. Next, I will have the parties announce their presence. We will start with the prosecution. Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michael Allen, Jennifer Veman, and Reggie Short on behalf of the people of the state of Colorado.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And now for the defense.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Archambault Rose Roy, Office of the Colorado State Public Defender, on behalf of Mix Aldrich, who appears in custody to my right.
Good morning. Do the people have charges to file in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. And we electronically filed this morning, but in the abundance of caution, we also have paper copies. We provided a paper copy to defense. I have a paper copy for the court as well.
Thank you.
Filing 305 total charges. Counts and theories of murder in the first degree, attempted murder in the first degree, assault in the first degree, assault in the second degree, and many counts of bias-motivated crimes. And then the attendant COV charges, crime of violence charges as well.
All right. Does the defense waive any further reading or advisement on these charges?
We do, Your Honor.
Now, the defense has already requested a preliminary hearing. Should we be scheduling that hearing today?
Your Honor, speaking to Mr. Allen, that was our hope, is to find a date that works on the court's calendar. The court staff had given us some potential dates. We had explained to the prosecution, and Mr. Allen shared with me that we have a lot of obligations already, both of us, that are going to make it difficult to get something scheduled in early spring. So the defense request would be to accept the dates that the court staff had offered us. I think it's May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd.
What are the people's thoughts about the defense suggestion as to timing of the preliminary hearing?
Judge, obviously, to set something out beyond the 35 days, we would need a waiver from defense to go beyond that 35-day requirement. We are also requesting that this is a proof evident presumption grade as well as a preliminary hearing. If the defense makes that appropriate waiver, I think we can look at scheduling out further. I can tell the court, and I think defense has already signaled this to the court as well, that this case we expect to be very voluminous. It will probably take some time for defense to digest it and be ready for presentation of evidence at a preliminary hearing / proof evident presumption grade. So it seems to make sense giving a proper waiver to set this out to some degree into the future. Obviously, we've talked to the court offline and looked at some dates, which I think would be appropriate.
It is my preference that the defense receive the discovery in time to make meaningful use of it prior to the preliminary hearing. The date that my staff suggested to counsel was in February. How confident are the people that the core of the discovery could be provided to the defense in enough time for them to make reasonable use of that by that February date?
So there will be, obviously, this case is going to continue to be investigated for quite some time, I would suspect. I should also say in relation to that, that it's somewhat likely that we will amend charges to add or maybe even subtract, depending on, as we identify potentially more victims in this case that we have not identified to this date. I think a big chunk of it should be available to them. I just don't know what their work schedule will allow them to digest before that February date. And I think that's what defense is signaling, is that they may not be able to really make meaningful use of discovery by that February date.
The defense's suggestion of a May date strikes me as much longer than the usual period of time that we would delay a preliminary hearing in a case like this. What's the people's thoughts about their suggestion?
So part of, I think, what gets us out that far, Judge, is just our respective schedules. I can tell the court that I've got a 6-week trial scheduled on the Letitia Stout case that is scheduled to start on March 17th. And again, will be jury selection, and then we'll start presentation of evidence the following Monday. And again, we're scheduled for a 6-week trial on that case. I think because of the challenges that I have specifically, and then I think defense also has some lengthy trials in the interim, I think that's the reason why they were potentially looking at pushing it out that far. Obviously, we'll defer to the court as to ultimate scheduling, but I think those are the scheduling challenges that we're all dealing with.
How many days do you believe the preliminary hearing and the proof evident presumption grade hearing will take?
Judge, I think that we can present our evidence at that hearing in 2 days.
Mr. Archambault, your estimation of the length of this hearing?
Your Honor, I have no idea, given on how little discovery of the total volume we've received, given that we just got the complaint. They did file it a little ahead of time today, but we haven't even been able to really digest it in any meaningful way.
Have you received any discovery yet?
We started receiving discovery on Friday, and we've been starting to try to read it and review it in media. It's ongoing how we're receiving it, and I believe it will be for some time.
I don't believe my staff ever received a response from you about whether those February dates you are available.
Your Honor, Mr. Bowman obviously isn't here with me. We would not be ready to proceed to preliminary.
Let's do this one because it's a little bit zoomed in.
Going how we're receiving it, and I believe it will be for some time.
I don't believe my staff ever received a response from you about whether those February dates you are available.
Your Honor, Mr. Bowman obviously isn't here with me. We would not be ready to proceed to a preliminary hearing on those February dates due to some obligations we have for other clients and other cases that we have to be either in or preparing to do. I myself have a trial that starts early March. That's a 4-week trial, homicide trial that I have, and some other important preliminary hearings and some other homicides in February.
I appreciate your argument, but I'm not convinced. I'm going to go ahead and schedule this proof evident presumption grade hearing on those dates in February that my staff provided to you. I believe we can do this hearing in 2 days. And I'm familiar with how your office generally litigates this type of case, and I'm certain that they have the resources to make sure that you're available on that date. And so from my staff, that date in February again was February 22nd through the 24th.
Starting at 8:30 in the morning or 9, Judge?
Starting at 8:30.
Your Honor, I guess I just have to make it clear for the record, we are objecting the court setting the preliminary hearing over Ms. Aldrich's objection. And we're doing so under Ex Rel Farina 522 P. Second 589 at 591 Colorado Supreme Court 1974. And we believe that we are not going to be ready. We will not be effective on that date. And we think that that is why we are objecting, Your Honor.
Understood. As you receive discovery and you're able to form concrete opinions about what it is you need to do in preparation for that hearing, I will entertain future motions on this subject.
And Judge, just for record purposes, we still do need a waiver to get even out to that February trials, or I'm sorry, proof evident prevention great prelim hearing date.
Your Honor, we have discussed that. Ms. Aldrich has no objection to that, waives 35 days. I don't know if the court needs that in writing, but we've discussed that in detail. No objection. We're waiving that.
I'll accept the 35-day waiver. Before we terminate the recordable portion of the proceeding, is there anything else either side has regarding the filing of charges?
Not from us, Judge.
Not for the defense, Your Honor.
As the attorneys know, there's a standard protection order related to the victims in the case that will enter as of this moment right now. We will need the defense to sign that before he leaves this morning, and so you'll need to be involved with that with my staff. This concludes the recordable portion of this morning's hearing, and the media is ordered to cease any recording or live streaming at this time. Anyone viewing today?
That's it, bruh. So I figured we can hang out for a little bit. I can show you some clips. We can go over a little bit of the story. Listen, I barely slept last night, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I barely got up to do this, but somebody sent me the link and they told me there's a portion of this apparently that we can stream, but it looks like the way they're gonna do it is they're gonna showing very little publicly that you can stream, I guess. So I'm not even sure this is really a trial. I don't know how it's gonna go during when it actually starts. Let me play this first thing. So this guy, because a lot of people are kind of wondering, like, I had heard about this a little bit ago, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Supposedly this guy is, I guess maybe part of the defense.
All right, as we continue.
It's going to be that this guy's identifying as non-binary. So this guy, he shot and killed 5 people in a mass shooting at this LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs, Club Q shooting. And this guy's name is Anderson Lee Aldrich. And there was, I think it says here, 17 others with gunshot wounds. And there was like 2 heroes that went and stopped this guy from killing more people. And so this guy looks deranged. It's kind of a crazy story. I've only caught bits and pieces, but like the guy's father, which actually I have the full, we should watch that too. I pulled up, I emailed it to myself. There's apparently an extended version of the father's interview. I think I emailed it to myself, yeah. Which we'll check out. Let's first do this whole non-binary defense that he's coming up with right now.
Need to learn more about the shooting.
And then I'll say the victims' names and a little mention of like, a bit about them.
Shooting in Virginia. America is still trying to heal from the Saturday night attack on an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs. Now, the suspected shooter is set to virtually appear in court for the first time later today. They're facing a multitude of charges, including 5 counts of first-degree murder and 5 counts of bias-motivated crimes. Prosecutors have yet to say if federal hate crimes are going to be added to the list. NBC News correspondent Maura Barrett joins us now from the Club Q Memorial.
Ms. Mola says, I guess if there's evidence identifying him as non-binary, the thing is, how do you have evidence of that? How do you prove that? Right? Isn't that something? I mean, I don't know the whole thing on that, but like, if somebody just feels like they identify as that, isn't that how it works? Right? Because the whole thing with that is you're not supposed to judge somebody or whatever if they feel like that's what they identify as, and Isn't that kind of like a murky water, kind of hard to say, for somebody on the outside to tell somebody on the inside what they identify as, isn't it?
Memorial in Colorado Springs with the latest. Maura, good morning. So we're learning more about the suspected shooter, including their preferred pronouns. So what more can you tell us about that? What can we expect to see in court later today?
Yeah, good morning, Joan. Overnight, we're learning from court filings from the suspect's defense attorney that the suspect, Anderson Lee Aldrich, identifies as non-binary and prefers to use the pronouns they.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot that you probably have to take into context. I don't know if this guy's like trolling. I guess it's a smart defense to try to avoid maybe the hate crime aspect of it. Because his dad was, I remember the interview that his father did, which we're going to watch. He was talking about that he's Mormon, conservative, Republican, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, they don't do the gay stuff. And he's like, he doesn't know what his son was doing at the gay club or bar. And his father has a lot of issues too. His father was like a porn star, and clearly it looks like he has some sort of drug issues. And he was even on that show. I saw somebody in the chat mention that addiction show or whatever. He was on that addiction show too. So I don't know if that's where this guy's hatred comes from, his father. Also I was watching a video early this morning, and they were saying that this guy was in some sort of a bunch of online groups, and I think this guy even had some sort of bomb charges. The shooter, like apparently, let me see something bomb. There was something about bombs with this kid. Bomb threat. Blow it to hell. Footage shows Anderson Lee Aldrich streamed 2021 bomb incident from his Colorado Springs home. Can we see that?
At American Furniture Warehouse, we bring...
Everything's got ads on it. You got to pay to see it. Let me see if I can watch it here. I'm sure it's online somewhere too. Bomb incident.
Mom, Andy's out front. Going crazy. What's going on? Please answer the phone. Call me. He's help.
Police have surrounded that house.
Oh shit.
This is where I stand. Okay? Hold this off. Today I died.
What is happening?
That's what happened. They don't give a fuck about me anymore. Clearly.
Get your ass down, psycho. I just face arrest charges. Is that Aldrich though? And I heard the people that stopped him from killing more people, like they stomped his ass out, like they beat the shit out of this guy. That's why he looks like what he looks like, I think, in that in the mugshot. Let's see here. I know we're supposed to get back to the non-binary thing, but Anderson Lee Aldrich is believed to have live streamed a 2021 bomb threat incident on Facebook. The owner of the home provided a recording of the video. Let's see. Surrounding a June 2021 bomb incident in which Anderson Lee Aldrich, identified by police as the Club Q shooting, suspect captures himself possessing multiple weapons while threatening to blow a home to holy hell. The man's mother, Laura, reported the bomb threat to law enforcement, saying her son has made threats from within the house, shown in the video with a homemade bomb, several weapons and ammunition. El Paso County Sheriff's Office. So that was the bomb thing. All right, let's see the non-binary stuff here too.
Now, we had known that the suspect had changed their name when they were a teenager, but we hadn't had any information about their pronouns.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that too.
until now, and obviously we don't know what that could mean in terms of any indications or planning around motive for this shooting, but we're also learning new information overnight. Our affiliate speaking with a neighbor of the suspect, the neighbor saying that they had become friends, playing video.
And the guy, one of the heroes,
Speaking with a neighbor of the suspect,
his family he was there with his family, right? I think he was there with his wife and his daughter. And this guy right here, I think, was his daughter's boyfriend. And this is one of the people that got shot and killed.
Neighbor saying that they had become friends, playing video games and over tech because they lived right across the hallway from each other. But the neighbor said he'd been interviewed by the FBI for hours. The neighbor saying that the suspect had talked about hate for the LGBTQ plus community before, and that he was, quote, not someone that he would bring his gay friends around. And so,
yeah, that whole non-binary thing could be just some sort of legal loop employ. Like if you take all his history into account, man, unless, I don't know, because sometimes people that are so hateful are really that themselves, right? Like maybe he was gay or something or whatever, or some sort of whatever. But it's still a hate crime, though. You know, I don't know. I wonder how that's going to work out legally.
that
Because I was asking a friend too, like, so what happens if they remove the hate crime aspect out of it, right? Like, and I think what it is federal charges. I thought. I don't remember exactly what she said.
is something that we'll definitely be monitoring. The suspect is expected to make his first appearance in court virtually today, where we should see charges introduced, those 5 counts of murder, those 5 counts of bias-motivated crime, potentially, as well as other charges the district attorney said as well. So we'll be monitoring that. That happens later this morning here in Colorado Springs.
And that's people what I'm wanting to know. I didn't see the comment you're responding to, but I see what you said. You said that, and by the way, I don't mean any disrespect if I say one of the terms incorrect. But she said it wasn't a drag, it was trans. I thought a friend of mine told me that a drag, somebody that was drag is one of the other heroes too. I couldn't find a video of that person speaking. I could only find the veteran guy speaking. Unless you're talking about the person that was killed.
Meantime, Maura, we continue to hear from survivors as they're released from the hospital. What are some of the messages that we're hearing from them?
There is a lot of sadness still in the community, especially as survivors are being released from the hospital, recovering from their injuries. But there is still a lot of hope in the community and from those survivors as well. I want you to hear from Anthony and his husband, Jeremy. Anthony was in the club on Saturday night. He said he was about 20 feet away from the entrance when the shooter entered the building. And when he heard the shots fired, he just fell to the ground, ultimately got shot himself. He spoke outside the hospital yesterday and said that he only thought of his husband in that moment. I want you to hear from both men about what they've been experiencing.
The community is strong, and we will all get through this. I lost 2 of my dear friends in the shooting, and being in here, I could not go to any vigils. They took everything away, as if they were trying to take my life as well.
If you love somebody, you have the right to hold their hand. You have the right to kiss them in public if you want to. And so I think the more we do that as individuals and we recognize that we're all human beings and we all stand together, that's really where the focus should be.
So as you heard there, clearly survivors still mourning while also speaking out against persistent homophobia that they say they felt in this community, Joe.
And those survivors dealing with the physical wounds. But
I really wonder, I completely lost. I really wonder, and I just lost my thought. I wanted to show this too before we get to some of the video clips and the interviews and stuff. I had a link. This is like a little quick mention. Let's just go over the people's names that were killed. So Daniel Aston is the Club Q bartender, was a transgender man from Oklahoma who moved to Colorado Springs 2 years ago. He was the happiest he had ever been, his mother, Sabrina Aston, told Colorado Public Radio. Ashley Paul, who had friends in the LGBT community but wasn't part of it herself, was married to and had an 11-year-old daughter and worked in foster care. She had driven from La Junta, Colorado to see a comedian perform at Club Q Saturday night. Derek Rump, the Club Q bartender who identified as a gay man, was one of the sweetest, funniest, quirkiest smartasses you'd ever want to meet. His friend Sky told Colorado Sun. Kelly Loving. Loving was a trans woman visiting from Denver and had a caring nature. The New York Times reports she was loving, always trying to help the next person out instead of thinking of herself. And Raymond Green Vance. Vance was at Club Q on Saturday night with his girlfriend and her family. Oh, that's the one I was just talking about. For a birthday party. Cassie, his girlfriend of 5 years, shared on Facebook that he made life worth living and was the best thing to happen to her. This was an extended version. I've only seen the small clip that some of us have seen on Twitter. There's actually an extended version. This is the shooter's father. And he kind of goes a little bit into his own history, it seems like.
Is there any history of mental illness with him, or when's the last time you saw him?
My son, I hadn't seen him for years. I thought he committed suicide. His mother told me that he. I'll give you a history. I was a porn star. Okay, I became a porno star in 2002, and I combined that with a mixed martial arts career and my ex.
And I wonder too if his drug thing, whatever, clearly he has some sort of drug issue, and he was on that addiction show. I wonder if that started within that industry, the porn industry, because I had heard that like there's sectors of that industry that a lot of those people are on like substances and drugs. Not all, but a lot of them, you know.
She took off with my son. I hadn't seen him for years. Little did I get to see my son, you know, I tried to give him, a father figure or whatever. I didn't know where his low whereabouts were. I found out recently that he did not kill himself in 2016.
Damn, bro.
That he's he's alive and well, and he lives in Colorado.
Yeah. Why did you think he had killed himself?
His mother told me this. She said that he killed himself because of I'm an embarrassment to him.
Wow.
My son is I loved him so much. I didn't want to lose be around. I wanted to be around my son and be there for him. I have a daughter the same way I had my son. I never see.
That's scary. Daughter. So, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but that's pretty messed up. I mean, maybe the mother was trying to protect the son. Well, obviously didn't do shit though, right? Oh, here's pictures too. I meant to show this to the victims. The pictures of the victim right there too. But this gives you a little bit of telling too into the past, I guess.
My kids never, but I want to be in his life. He's been accused of doing some crazy thing. I don't know what he's been accused of. I can't get answers from the attorneys really, but they're saying that somebody's, it's involving a gay bar or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what the heck he did at a gay bar. I don't know what's going on.
Well, he's accused of going on a mass shooting at a gay bar and killing 5 people.
Colorado.
Okay, well, that's shit. If he's accused of doing that, I'm glad he's not gay. I say that, but he's not gay.
When was the last time you saw him?
Bruh, and this is kind of like, I don't know, man. Because when you first see the clip and it has like millions of views, it's like, wow. And you almost like, because I guess he's so tone deaf, and I don't know if it's all the years of drugs. And at first, I kind of laughed at first, but then it's like, I know this is like not funny in a way because I'm trying to detach it from like the actual victims. But it's like, holy shit, for somebody to say that too on TV, you know what I'm saying? Like nowadays. But I mean, I guess that's how he feels, but also it just makes you wonder like what this kid grew up in, the environment. Was he around his dad at all? Was it just his mother? And, is this the environment? Not that I feel sympathy at all for this, killer.
Shit, it was, I saw him, I made efforts to see him, but I think I see him in 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
It's been quite some time.
It's 2011, yeah.
Was he living in San Diego at the time?
He was in Carlsbad at the time. He came back from Colorado. They were here. I had a little bit of a relationship with him. He was 10 years old, you know. I was holding mitts for him, you know, showing him how to be. I wanted to be a professional fighter like me. You know? I wanted to be a fighter. And,
not much of a relationship.
You know, I don't know how much he takes after me, whatever, but, you know, I said, my son, you know, what the hell, I didn't expect to hear this kind of stuff.
He's a big kid.
Yeah, he's taller than me. He's like 6'7". He's a big guy, you know.
He's that tall?
He's 6'7", like almost 300 pounds.
So you said you've been trying to reach him now?
No, he reached me. He reached out to me.
Okay, and said what?
You know, my son is just say, hey, Dad, I want to talk to you, man. I want to see you. I'm like, well, I was happy to hear he wanted to see me. He wanted me to come out to Colorado. And I was like, sure, I don't have to. I can't just get out to Colorado like right now. And he wanted it then, right then and there. And it seemed like he's old. You know, he was happy to see me, or he wanted to see me. He needed something right then. It was urgent. So I was a little alarmed by that.
This was 2011?
No, this was last year.
Oh, okay.
You know, I found he's alive. I was happy to hear he's alive. And, yeah.
Yeah.
So he contacted you last year, and he wanted to see
he
you.
reached out.
Bro, is he high right now? I still somebody said that in the chat. I was thinking like maybe he had like gotten over his, and these were like the after effects of years of drugs, but shit, it looks like he's kind of like on something now. And he was like, it's like, oh, they caught him high after a hit. And if you guys could help me out with the like button, I know it's not a topic that you like, but if you, just with the algorithm and stuff.
This last year.
Oh, okay.
You know, I found he's alive. I was happy to hear he's alive. And, yeah.
Yeah.
So he contacted you last year, and he wanted to see you.
He reached out to some from people.
Wow.
He was, he got his attention. He called some people that I knew, that he knew I knew, and I was to bridge the gap between my son and I. These people did. The Kennedys, Kennedy Insurance over there in El Cajon, like they're good. They're good connection with me and my son, because like they were around my life when my son was a baby, you know. So, yeah.
Was there any indication that he was distressed or that he was upset about anything when he contacted you? What did he tell you?
My son, he seemed like he's a man. I'm talking to a man on the phone, you know. I was like, what the hell is this guy? I'm talking to a grown up here, so it's a little weird. But he said, you know, he's straight up with you. My son slashed at me. He had words, and I just got so impatient when I said, "You want to kick my ass, kid?" He was like, "Yeah, you don't you think he's raised at me?" He said, "Seriously, who the hell you think you're raising at? I don't care how big you think you are. You're kicking my ass. I fought in the UFC, and if you go do that, you're gonna bring your lunch." As I told him, he's, "Oh yeah, come on, kick my ass." I got news for you, bucko. I can kick your ass still. I hate to say it, but I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a no belt in jiu-jitsu. I love my son. I love him. I want the idea of seeing him again, but you know. Shit now.
Wait, so he contacted you on the phone last year, and then you ended up arguing on the phone?
I argued on the phone with the guy. He starts telling me, he said something to me. We had a little clash, you know, and I guess he was going to bulldog me on the phone. You got the wrong dude, man. That ain't me. You know, I did him a disservice in his life, but...
Did he tell you he had been in trouble with the law last year?
He told me he couldn't leave Colorado. That kind of struck me. He said he couldn't leave Colorado. So my son... I said, hey, come out here. I said, there's the address right here. And he was asking about security fences and shit. Is there a security fence? I said, why are you asking? You being a smart ass? You knock on the door, I'll come get the door. You ain't gotta sneak around.
Do you have any idea why he changed his name?
Yes.
Why did he do it?
His mother told me he changed his name.
That's the thing. I was watching a video this morning, and they said this dude did get a name change, but I don't know if it was because he was getting threatened online. Let's see what it says.
Because I was on intervention, and I'd been a porno
intervention.
actor. It was the laughing stock. You know, everybody's laughing. Your dad's a porno star. You know, and it's just like, it's an uncomfortable laughter people have when they find out I'm a porno star. It's like, all right, a porn actor. You know, so I haven't even done porn. I stopped doing porn a couple years ago, because it's causing me a lot of problems. I was getting high on meth, and I was just like this.
Didn't I tell you?
And I had permanent damage from meth. I was using this for years. You know,
But I don't know if he started before the porn stuff or was it during the porn stuff.
I have tardive dyskinesia and a lot of nervous system movements and stuff I can't ever get rid of because of meth use. I had to get out of that business, but that's it right there. But I was on an intervention TV show back in 2008. I almost died using drugs, you know.
What show was that?
Intervention television show. Intervention is
yeah, it's on YouTube. Well, I've seen a snippet of it on YouTube.
A&E, it's just like a documentary where
A&E, okay.
they'll follow a person that's addicted. Like I was peaking in my addiction for meth in 2008. It was the worst I'd ever been. It was life-threatening. You know, and if I hadn't stopped, I would have been dead. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for something.
Well, do you have any idea why he picked the name Anderson Ulrich? Where did that come from?
I have no idea. He's got he's got other issues going on, possibly. But I know one thing. He got a hold of me, and he's pissed off. He's pissed off at me. He wants to poke at the old man. I said, you can get to poke at the old man as long as I ain't poke from a rifle down the street. You don't want to get shot. But he wasn't talking about shooting me. Never made any threats towards me like that. Never made any active threats. He got a little fresh with me.
Well, he's accused of walking in with an assault rifle. And,
I think he's not
then
there
he
for
was tackled by another patron who was a veteran and pinned him down.
God, what
and then they arrested him.
Do this? Why would he do it? He didn't shoot anybody then. He didn't actually shoot anybody.
Well, they are accused of killing 5 people.
So they say he killed somebody.
5
people.
And 18 other were injured in that.
So the guy that grabbed him is a hero, basically. You know,
It's interesting too how that Twitter clip was edited up. I get it that they have a time frame to put things in, but they also make it seem like he's just like, your son shot all these people, and he's just like, oh well, and but like, not that this is much better, but it actually gives a little bit more. It's more, I don't know, detailed like this. You can tell that that wasn't actually the full reaction. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see the rest of the video.
I have to say to my son, I'm ashamed that you did that.
That's what I'm wondering too. So we're seeing the dad, and Stereophonic's mom says the mom is a mess. That's what I'm wondering. What's mom like? This is dad. What is mom like?
You don't killing people like this. It's just in cold blood.
I mean, she might not be as bad, but
he goes and kills people with cold blood. I don't know if he tried to do this or not. I could never do it myself. I wouldn't think my son would do this.
Do you feel like you knew him well enough to indicate why he would have done something like this?
There's no excuse for going and killing people. If you're killing people, there's something wrong. It's just not the answer. You're already gone.
See, the way that Twitter clip was done, very genius. That thing has like millions of views. I think like 10 million or something like that. So that they purposely did it in a certain way, But yeah, when you watch the full clip, it's like, oh. Again, not that it's much better, but like it's not as horrible as what like the things that they clip together. It's still bad, But
killing somebody, it's not socially acceptable.
Yeah, the context.
Kill somebody.
Was he in San Diego from?
And even this is still chopped. You know what I'm saying? This is the extended excerpts, but this is still chopped up.
Was he born in San Diego?
Yes,
or
he was
Orange
born.
County?
He was born right here in Sharp Mary Burr Hospital over here, off the 163 right there.
And then did he
get in the house? Hey, the dog's outside. Get the goddamn house.
Tell us what kind of kid he was. What did he learn? I mean, from you, did he learn how to shoot? Did you have weapons?
I want the raw video. They upload the raw video.
I'm not talking about a fight, though. I'll tell you this much. I showed my son how to turn his fist over and then become a destructive weapon with his hands if he needs to. I don't know about guns. I believe in Second Amendment. I'm a conservative Republican. I like guns and all that stuff, but I like this. It was fisticuffs and shake hands afterward like a gentleman. That's how it should be.
So tell us, share some memories from his first 10 years with you. You were, until 10 years of age, he was going to school here.
Yeah, Nicholas is a good kid now. He was smart, man. There's something about him. He was really with it. He was he's intelligent. He's smarter than I was. I thought I considered myself intelligent for being had all the head trauma I've had, but I'm actually intelligent. My son.
He was screaming at the dogs, I think, or whatever dog there was.
That's way smarter than me. He's technical, savvy. He knows how to use a computer. He's really, just really smart. Yeah.
Was he in San Diego County from the time he was born until 10?
About 10, yeah. Exactly.
Or did he go up to Orange County sometime?
No, he never went to Orange County, but he's...
Because you were up in Orange County,
I was in Orange County. I was Huntington Beach and then L.A. I was in the San Fernando Valley.
But he stayed in San Diego County that whole time?
He remained in San Diego with his stable in-laws.
When did you hear about the incident?
Yesterday.
And you called immediately, tried to reach your son?
There's a guy on the phone from Colorado, real assertive and very polite gentleman who's with his attorneys.
I see.
And they reached out to me and they, and I was like, wow, my ex-wife actually told me. And she said, oh my God, they're trying to reach you. And I was like, I can't believe it. I'm like still kind of shocked. It's why people are dead. I just hope that there's another suspect. This is not something like this my son actually did. I don't want him to be. He's gone. He's history. If he did this, they're probably. I mean, they have like special circumstances for stuff like this, and involving social circumstances, you never know what happens. Right? So I want my son to.
Thank you, Mary.
Live a healthy life and hopefully not. Shit, man.
So his attorneys called you?
Yes.
Yes, sir? And they said your son wants to talk with you? Why did they call you?
He didn't actually, they didn't say he wants to talk to me. They said that it happened. Can you believe what happened? They started telling about the incident. There was a shooting involving, multiple people.
Right.
And then later on going to find that it's a gay bar.
Yeah, right. And
I was like, oh my God, is he gay? I was scared. Oh my God, shit, is he gay? And he's not gay, so it's
that's the clue.
Well, you guys had conversations about that. You were.
Oh yeah,
you
I was
you
adamant
told him. Yeah, you were adamant that gay
I
is
was adamant this ain't
bad.
happening. I am examining.
All right, so that's interesting too. When did he have those conversations with him? Because it seems like he had been with his son maybe up until 10, and then there was a large gap. And so was it when he was younger that he was telling him these things, or was it after the fact?
Oh yeah, it's oh my God, shit, is he gay? And he's not gay, so
Jesus Christ.
Well, you guys had conversations about that. You were.
Oh yeah,
you
I was
told
adamant
him.
about it.
Yeah, you were adamant that gay
I
is
was adamant
gay
this
is
ain't
bad.
happening. I'm Mormon. I'm a conservative Republican, and we don't do gay. We don't do gay. We don't do.
Just throw all of it in there. Mormon, conservative, Republican. Damn.
Yeah. So when did you first hear about the incident? Before the attorney called, you saw it on CNN.
Damn.
What
No, I
happened?
haven't seen it yet. I still haven't seen it.
How did you learn about the fact that your son was involved?
Right, I learned about that my son is alleged to have been something like this by this attorney. They were yesterday. Literally, they were yesterday. I have no idea.
Gotcha. So you hadn't heard it on the news until the attorney called you.
I'm still going to check something. I'm going to look for like a little clip or something like that.
Right,
It's interesting to me.
But my point is,
my son's like, well, it's a celebrity. I say it like that, but Jesus God, it's like the popular thing. Everybody knows about this.
Can you take us back to his childhood? Because the first 10 years you had him, right?
I had him. When I had him, that's a good times right there. I taught him about. I said, my son says, a fight, man on man. You don't go to at least your gun. You have to be a man, and then separate. Don't go starting fights, but if you have to fight hard. And I told him, I showed him how to throw a punch, and he knocked out one, or he assaulted within my request to one of my ex-wife's boyfriends. He was mouthing off, he hit him right in the face, and he did. He hit him on the face. I praised him for violent behavior really early. I showed him that it works. It's instant, and you'll get immediate results. And you'll always get what you want if you're good at fighting.
What?
But this is not something we foolishly do it. Just take it to a bar.
What did you say? It's talking about fighting, and it's hard to understand.
Boyfriends. He assaulted within my request to one of my ex-wife's boyfriends. He was mouthing off, he hit him right in the face, and he did. He hit him on the face. I praised him for violent behavior really early. I showed him that it works. It's instant, and you'll get immediate results. And you'll always get what you want if you're good at fighting. But this is not something we foolishly do it. Just take it to a bar or a social place and go shoot people. I don't want my son to be held accountable and to go away forever. It's incarceration exposure, and not the death penalty is exposed to. I think he's exposed to this.
Colorado doesn't have the death penalty.
They do not. Oh, think okay.
It's life without parole if he gets convicted.
But he's going to be on forever if they get him. If they say that he did this, if they really connect him to this, if he's the person who shot these people, they're going to have him there for you know what? He has to be held accountable. I hate to say it, but I would like to say to my son being incarcerated.
I thought he just said he doesn't want him being held accountable or something.
I'd like to have a relationship with him, and I can teach him, hey, look, fighting's the way to go. You don't go shooting people. A fight is a gentleman's way to fight. You fight someone.
What do you do for a living now?
Oh shit!
Right now, I'm
he like fucking scared him. He like jumped and stuff.
Fight someone.
What do you do for a living now?
Right now,
I'm sorry. But I guess, I don't know, maybe he's tweaked out, or if he's not tweaking right now, then maybe it's just the after effects and the nerves and shit,
Gentleman's way to fight, you fight someone.
What do you do for a living now?
Right now, I'm a professional MMA coach. I coach free agent fighters. I also do scuba diving. I scuba dive boats.
You coach what?
Professional
mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts.
Cage fights.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And how long ago did you quit the porn industry?
2000, and I think there's a couple of things for Brazers. I just shot for them. I made a couple random scenes here and there a couple of years ago, but I'm not active. I don't do active porn or testing for porn. Or testing for HIV. You know, so I have just did porn like 2020. 2020 was the last time I did things.
I see.
Yeah.
Have you been sober for a while now, or
I'm
still struggling?
No, I actually have. I have. I'm sober. I'm dry. You know, I'm not using drugs. But I have a lot of damages from drugs that will never leave me. I'll never have. There's nervous system. I have movements and controlled movements.
Were you in a program?
Yeah, I went to a program. I went to way back in 2010.
Okay.
I finally started getting. I went to intervention, you know, and that didn't work out for me
For
so well.
alcohol and drugs both, or?
Predominantly is crystal meth, and because it was a connection with the porn industry. I didn't start using methamphetamines until I was like 28, 30 years old, like 30-ish.
And how old are you now, sir?
48 years old. I'm 48. But I got into the pornography, sort of performing and acting in porn as the actor for 2002. So I was 28. That's when I started doing drugs.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't remember when, man. A while back, I had like watched a documentary or some. I think it was like a porn star or something. They were just talking about the drugs in that industry. You know, not everybody's doing that, but like there's a lot of them that have gotten into that. And I think it was like, we're talking about even parties and that people were just taking drugs just to, I guess, do these films and like do whatever. And just everybody's messed up on something and just constantly recording videos and having sex and just whatever, you know?
And then drugs, dude, they're not good for you. And this meth is like, fuck, it just fucks you up physically and mentally. But it also does irreparable damage to your nervous system.
Now that you hear this news, alleged accusations against your son,
yes,
is there anything that comes to mind that may have people in the community want to know why?
Why?
You know?
What was the trigger? Bad pun.
Man, it's fuck with him. People are fucking with this guy. I heard he was heavy set. He was like 300 pounds or overweight.
Who was doing that with him?
I have no idea. It's just these are the things I've heard, you know. I've heard from, but you gotta realize, I thought he was gone from 2016 until like a few months ago. He called me like last year. It wasn't that like even a year ago. He called me. So I thought he was dead. I mourned his loss. I think I had gone through a meltdown. I lost my son. I blacked it out of my system. I go, oh my God, and all of a sudden I get a email from somebody.
Damn, that's crazy.
Saying he's alive. So this is another majorly, this is both mind-blowing.
Do you have any idea when he first, recollection, when he may have first tried a gun or shot a gun?
I think he's probably he got hair on his ass. He started going, hey, I'm gonna shoot this damn gun. I don't know. If he's better, sooner the better. You know, guns are not a problem. Guns are good.
So you had not shown him how to use a gun before he was 10 years old.
I showed him how to use these guns right here.
I see.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So you never shot guns with him as a kid?
No.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
No way, man. There's no guns. To me, the guns are the hands. You don't want. I mean, yes, I believe in guns. I believe in the right to bear arms. I mean, I'd say right. They don't look at that here in California. There's a bunch of liberal freaks around here. You can't carry a gun here.
What do you have to say to the community about it?
I'm sorry, the liberal freaks thing, but I mean the irony though in him talking about liberal freaks, right?
This.
Man. I don't know what to say. Community, it's a weird question. That's a weird question. To the community, I say, look, you know, love my son, love him through this, man. I want him to get out of this. I want him to get away with this or just not be in jail, because that's my son, obviously. But I don't know. I just don't want him to, I want the best for him. I want the world to love my son. Please love my son, forgive my son, you know, hopefully. If he can't, I understand. But he walked in there and did that. I don't know what to say. I think, God, if he actually shot some people, God, dude. That's just something I would do. I can't relate to that. I would love my son no matter what. I love my son.
Damn.
Let me ask you this one question, sir. You talked about gay people with him, and you talked about them being, I don't know exactly what Satan's people or what have you. Let me ask you this. Do you think
My personal
'cause this-
experience is
yeah,
that.
right. But this incident happened in a gay bar, right? And my question to you is, do you think these conversations you had with him, his upbringing, had you taught him more tolerance? Let me be direct. Do you think, he would have been more tolerant of gay people? Apparently.
I think that my anti-gay, anti-schematic thing comes from writing. I'm a conservative extraordinaire, and I've been very vocal about that. I support Randy Vopel for his grandpa. I love Randy Vopel. He's a good American. He'll be president someday.
Who?
Randy who?
Randy Vopel.
Oh, Randy.
Vopel.
Randy.
That's a good man right there. That's the best man for the job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a righty. If he's true, if it's right or left, I'm one of the rights. I've been very vocal with that's my son. I'm a conservative, and gays. I mean, first gays have been very mean to me. They're bullies. They're bullies of kids. It's like reversed. Like back in the day, it was okay to be gay. It's like these guys now it's cool to be gay. It's not. I think it's not cool at all. I think it's my opinion about gays is they're just not okay. I think people should stand up against homosexuality. They shouldn't necessarily go to the bar and kill people. It's social. No, it's not what I'm talking about. They stand up against it. What's right is right. And marriage is for a man and woman. But I don't go into all that. It's just yeah.
Did you say you were Mormon?
Yeah, I'm Mormon.
And how long was Nick
He's Mormon too.
From the beginning?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, he's from the beginning. So I made sure you gotta get the kid baptized. I had his mom do it. His mom's a good Mormon too. She's nuts.
He was baptized in the Mormon church?
So it was a Mormon family. The mom's Mormon and the guy's Mormon too?
His mom's a good Mormon too. She's nuts.
He was baptized in the Mormon church?
Yeah, he stayed. Mormons don't do gay. We don't do gay. There's no gays in the Mormon church. We don't do gay. And we have to say, we said, no, we're not going to accept gays. We don't have to do that. We're not forced to do this. But
for a period of time, they didn't do black people either. I forgot what year that was back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, having given that attitude, what do you say to the families of the 5 victims?
Sorry. I'm so sorry, guys, for your loss. I'm so sorry for any loss like this. Seriously, there's no regard to politics or anything. It's human life, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My soul goes out to you. I'm so sorry for your loss. You know who killed those people. Hopefully it was not my son, but I'm so sorry. Life is just so fragile and it's valuable. Those people's lives are valuable. They're valuable. They're good people, probably. It's not that you kill somebody over. Kill. I'm sorry. I let my son down.
Yeah, that's it's tough, man. It's tough. So he's anti-gay and stuff, and I guess he instilled maybe some of that stuff in his son, but he's still saying like it's not okay to go shoot and kill people and all this stuff.
Yeah, you can quote me. I let my son down.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. In the late 90s, this guy was a hell of an athlete. Actually fought in the UFC. His last UFC fight was against a guy who is remarkably still fighting in the UFC. Got addicted to drugs and porn and went downhill fast. He's not lying either. He was on the episode of Intervention. So I wonder if the father's downfall in his own life, obviously it was drugs, but I wonder if it was that industry, working in that industry, that led him there as well. I mean, of course, we all have our choices and decisions, but man, bro. Some other interviews. Let me see here. We didn't see this.
Session.
Let me pull up.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Look at this dude. Like slopped over to the side. This was 12 days ago. So it looks like I was really kind of curious because I wanted to stream this trial, but it looks like they're only letting certain parts be live streamed for everybody. So we're only getting small little segments, and I'm assuming, I guess that's how the trial is going to be. Unfortunately, I wanted to be able to like watch the whole thing. But in January, I think we have the suitcase Sarah Boone killer coming. I think we're going to stream that.
The court will call 22 CR 6008, People v. Anderson Aldrich. As a procedural matter, the court entered an order this morning allowing recording of the video feed from today's hearing. However, I want to make it extremely clear to everyone that is present in this courtroom currently and everyone who is present in the auxiliary courtroom that there is no photography allowed in the courtroom. There is no tweeting allowed in the courtroom. There are no videos to be taken while we are in session today. If someone is found to be in violation of this order, you will be immediately expelled from the courtroom and could face consequences, including contempt of court. Please turn off your cell phones and put them away at this time.
And the one thing I noticed today when I joined the WebEx, these people actually see the one that the YouTubers got shut down. While some of those people, it was poor judgment on them. The other thing too, I was thinking and saying is that they should have had a little bit better management of the panel. And so when I joined in today, we're looking at the one previously, but when I joined in this morning, you get put into this area called attendees. And while I had myself muted already, but then they also come in and everybody that's down there, they mute everybody. So even if you unmute yourself, nobody's gonna be able to hear you. But it's still up to the people to, like, when they say you got to stop recording, you got to stop recording.
Would the parties enter their appearances, please?
May it please the court, Michael Allen and Jennifer Veman for the people of the state of Colorado.
Good morning. Defense.
Good morning, Joseph Archambault, Michael Bowman, Office of the Colorado State Public Defender on behalf of the defendant.
Good morning. Could the defendant please state his name?
Wow.
Anderson Aldrich, did you watch the video concerning your constitutional rights in this case?
Yes.
Do you have any?
And I don't know if this is how this guy normally talks or if he's trying to pull some Golden State Killer bullshit while in the courtroom.
Questions about those rights?
No.
The court finds that Anderson Aldrich appears in custody for video advisement today with counsel. Counsel, are you waiving reading an advisement of the rights, charges, and penalties in this case at this time?
Yes, we are.
Are the people seeking a proof evident presumption great hearing in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then pursuant to
Mew.
Colorado Revised Statute 16-4-101-1A, I find there is legal authority to hold Anderson Aldrich without bond at this time. The next court hearing in this case will be held on December 6th of 2022 at 8:30 in the morning in Division 21 with Judge Michael McHenry. Are there any other matters that the parties would like to address today?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd ask if the court could set another date, not December 6th. Mr. Bowman's going to be in a jury trial over there at that time.
Let me find out if that would be possible.
All right, I think that's kind of. I just want to see what this guy would sound like. I'm going to show you the clip though for people
We're
that don't
checking
know.
on that. Just bear with us.
For people that don't know about the Golden State Killer,
Joseph.
I'm going to show you the whole thing. People are accusing him of faking this, putting on a front.
And Judge, while we're checking on available dates, it's customary in the 4th Judicial District to file charges within 10 days of today. If we're going further from that, are they waiving any time constraints that would be associated therewith?
Supposedly, this guy here, the perp, Anderson Lee Aldrich, he is 22, I believe. 22.
Did defense hear Mr. Allen?
Yes. We can't accept the 6th because Mr. Bowman's trial calendar. We can do it earlier next week if Mr. Allen would like that, or we could waive the 10 days.
I don't believe that Judge McHenry is available earlier, which was the reason that it was set for the 6th, but we are reaching out to his staff right now to find out. So we'll let you know in just a moment. So So Division 21 is indicating that currently that is the only date that is available. I would encourage council to follow up with Division 21 after the holiday, early next week, to see if something else could be arranged. That's the only information I have at this time. Judge McHenry is not in currently, and so we can't get additional information from him. Mr. Bowman.
I have nothing further, Judge.
Okay. I understand the position the defense is in, and it is clear in the record that you're not accepting that date. We will schedule the case for that date and time, but Division 21 and the people are on notice that that date may be changed, and that
I don't know if this is defense. They're pulling out the non-binary stuff.
Joseph D'Angelo.
Now he's disabled and shit, or whatever he's going on with this guy.
The man known as the Golden State Killer learned his fate today after a week of heartbreaking testimony from his victims. But is the serial killer really as frail as he appears to be in court? Prosecutors are now saying he's faking it.
Is the Golden State Killer faking that frail old man?
And what I had thought with this story, like right after he was caught, I thought like one of his neighbors said that this guy was doing all kinds of shit before he was arrested, cleaning. I don't know if he had like a motorcycle or something. He was going outside. I think he was driving or walking. I don't know. This guy was doing all kinds of shit. And then when he got arrested, all of a sudden he's like disabled and shit. He can't walk.
Man appearance. All this week, we've seen 74-year-old Joseph D'Angelo confined to a wheelchair.
All rise.
He sat disheveled and showed zero emotion as he listened to all those heartbreaking victim impact statements as woman after woman bravely faced him down.
He's a selfish, sadistic, calculating, cruel, pathetic piece of...
Yeah, he was a cop. Pacific Breeze says Golden State Killer was a cop. Yep.
Michelle Cruz, whose sister Janelle was slain by D'Angelo in 1986, says his lack of reaction left her frustrated.
Didn't matter what I said. I don't think I got a reaction out of him. He just sat there and stared out.
Now prosecutors say D'Angelo is faking it. Sacramento District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert just released this video showing the monster springing up on a table in his cell to fix a light. Here, he's exercising. And here, he's wiping the floor with a rag under his shoe.
Somebody said there's a method to his madness. And
the boy's still putting up an act decades later.
I think Mr. D'Angelo is very calculating and cunning and doing whatever he can, whatever's in his own best interest.
None of this comes as a surprise to
I'm surprised we didn't see him doing push-ups and that shit.
D'Angelo's former fiancée, Bonnie Olson, who memorably stared him down in court earlier this week.
I think he's been acting for 60 years.
Today's hearing was held at a ballroom at Cal State Sacramento.
You would bow your heads.
When participants were asked to bow their heads in memory of his victims, D'Angelo kept staring straight ahead. He finally stood up, removed his mask, and spoke. This is the first time we've heard him utter a word since his arrest 2 years ago.
I've listened to all your statements, each one of them. And I'm really sorry to everyone I've hurt.
He was sentenced to life for his 13-year campaign of 50 rapes and 13 murders.
We are adjourned.
D'Angelo's string of crimes began back in 1975 and lasted for 11 years.
I just thought that was crazy because I remember I never followed. I've always heard, like, listened to podcasts and I followed here and there, and I've always heard of the Golden State Killer, and you know this guy was like a cop, or at the time maybe ex-cop too or something. I put a link. Jazz has sent me the link for. There's one. Oh, I just put the wrong link in the description. There is a link for all that has all the GoFundMe's for the families. If you want to go support, or if you just want to like take a look at the GoFundMe's and stuff, I just added it now to the description. Let's take a look to. Let's see here. This is a good link. And by the way, I don't have any notifications for like, I think 6 hours or something. So we'll just hang out here for a little bit because I'm not gonna be able to do anything for a while anyway. But what I would like to do later is last night I mentioned there's a story that I'd like to expound upon. I'm not gonna say what yet. I just want to do it. We'll see how that turns out because I think it'll be interesting. And it's kind of funny, I think. I don't know the outcome, so I got to look and see what happened years later. And then also, yeah, we're just going to keep following to see what other updates come out with the Idaho murders, if anything. But I can't do anything for a while anyway.
Raymond Green Vance's family says he had just landed a new job and couldn't wait to save enough money.
Carmen says, I wonder how many unsolved crimes I went down that a cop was involved in. Silvio is always sending me crimes from cops. And it's always kind of interesting because I guess they know how to maneuver certain things and avoid, you know, certain and how to use certain loopholes and stuff.
To get his own apartment, they say he was a kind, selfless young adult with his entire life ahead of him. He was at Club Q with his longtime girlfriend and her parents, including her father, Richard Fierro, who did help stop the gunman, but not before Raymond was fatally wounded. Now, Richard and I spoke just before airtime, and I do want to warn you, it is a raw, emotional discussion, and what he describes is as graphic as you might imagine. Major Fierro, so take us back to when the gunman first entered the club. What happened? Because you're quoted in the New York Times as saying you went into combat mode. What instincts kicked in from your tours in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Listen, first of all, I just want to say this is in no way about me. My daughter is grieving the loss of her boyfriend. He was in our lives for 6 years. Raymond was a great young man. He was in his way to do some amazing things. And for me right now, it's about healing. I have 2 friends still in the hospital that were shot. My best friends here in the Springs. My whole Colorado Springs family was there. And so what I think I was doing was protecting my family, which is what I do. And sometimes to a fault, and I do things because I'm fight or flight. I think I tend to go fight a lot more, and I don't know if it's good or not. It doesn't matter. Either way, I went to the ground because as soon as I heard the rounds, I dove down. I pushed over my friend as best I could, and we both hit the ground, me and Chip. I put my back against I tried to stand up and I fell. And then I fell against it's like a bench seating. And at that point I saw the shooter. I had no idea what was going on, but apparently I saw him going to a patio area because I saw a lot of people in the window, or it may not even been a window left, but I saw a lot of people and this guy was there and I saw the ACU pattern flak vest. And for me, that was like, there's a handle, I'm getting him. So I ran across the room, grabbed the handle, pulled him down, and then started to, actually, I think I went for his gun with him. His rifle flew in front of him. And the young man that tried to jump in there with me, we both either pulled him down or whatever, but he ended up at his head and right next to the AR. And then with the AR, I told him, push the AR, get the AR away from him. The kid pushed the AR. I don't know what his name was. And then I proceeded to take his other weapon, the pistol, and then just start hitting him where I could, but the armor's in the way. And I found a crease between his armor and his head, and I just started wailing away with his gun. And then I told the kid in front of me, kick him, keep kicking him. And I was guiding people. I was telling people, call 911, call 911. I brought him down. I was in mode. I was doing what I do downrange. You know, I trained for this. I don't want to ever do this. I didn't even retire because I was done doing this stuff. It was too much, and it came in handy, and I got to protect my kid. I lost my kid's boyfriend. I tried to everybody in there. I still feel bad that there's 5 people. There's 5 people that didn't come home. And this guy, I told him while I was hitting him, I said, I'm going to kill you, man, because you tried to kill my friends. My family was in there. My little girl was in there with her.
We are so sorry for the loss that you and your family have gone through, for the loss of your daughter's boyfriend, and we are so sorry for your two friends that are still recovering in there. And I can't imagine going through what you and your family did, even with your training. Your training was for war zones. You trained to do that in combat, you know, not out for a night on the town.
Yeah, but it lives in you. If you actually do this stuff, it's in you. I was proud to be a soldier. I don't like these guys running around here doing G.I. Joe stuff, and they're not. I'm not a G.I. Joe. I'm just a normal guy, man. I'm protecting my family, and I reached up and I did what I had to do. And honestly, I don't care about myself when in that moment. I cared about everybody that was around me, and I cared especially about my family. As soon as I got done with that guy and the cop came in, I went across the room and started first aid with my friend who was shot in the chest and the legs and the arms. And I told her, Joanne, stay with me. Look me in the eye. Stay with me. And I moved her head so she wouldn't see her arm because he was shot. And Chip was right there. Her husband was reaching for her. So I put her hand in his hand.
God.
So that they could be together. I didn't know if they were
God.
going to make it. This guy, man. This whole thing was a lot. My daughter and wife should have never experienced combat in Colorado Springs. And everybody in that building experienced combat that night, not to their own accord, but because they were forced to. And I told my daughter, for me downrange, it was always, hey, get in the next patrol. Get in the next patrol, and you're done. They get over it. Get in the next patrol. They don't have that option. Nobody in that building has the option to get on the next patrol. They got to live with this now until whatever It's a lot for any human, man. This kid that was helping me was kicking another human in the head, and I told him to do it.
That's what my friend was telling me about. Now, my friend had said, it doesn't matter what the person is really, I guess, but it was a person there that was also helping out with this guy. So it was like two heroes, and this person was literally like stomping the shit out of this dirt bag to help out. This is the another picture of Anderson. I guess that's his mother. It's a vastly different picture from the one that and I'm guessing all these marks on his face is maybe from the beatings that he caught. They beat the shit out of this guy, rightfully so. Look, he got like a black and blue, just beating the hell.
I don't know what to do. You know, there was a beautiful one of the performers was walking by when the kid was getting tired of kicking, and she helped and kicked him with the high heels.
Is that what it was? Oh, the high heels. There we go.
And she helped and kicked him with the high heels that she had on, and then ran because she's probably scared. I don't know what's going on.
That's what I heard too. That some of it at the high heels was like stomping him out or hitting him or something too.
I was trying to get people to call the police, and that was it. I told the mayor, I'm not a hero. I'm just a guy that wanted to protect his kids and his wife, and I still didn't get to protect her boyfriend.
Major, you helped a lot of people. You helped a lot of people, and no one should ever, ever go through what you or your family or the people in that bar went through that night. Tell us about Raymond Vance. Tell us about your daughter's boyfriend. How will you remember him?
I'm holding her hand, and they're going through a lot, man. She's 22, but she loved this boy. She's been with him. So we went to go see her junior prom date, little Wyatt. Kid was with her since elementary school. We got here in 2007 when I was still in the Army. Wyatt's been with her the whole time. Her best friend, we went to go see perform a drag show. He was amazing. Great kid. And then this happens, and my daughter loses her prom date, her boyfriend that she's been with forever. Her parent, his mom, we were telling her that we thought he was out there somewhere. She came by our house when we were at the hospital. I was dealing with the cops, and I'm trying to get, how do we get Raymond?
We're so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I see someone's rubbing your shoulder there. How are your wife? How are your wife and daughter doing?
They're hurting, man. They're hurting, but we got to do what we can. And we're strong, man. And we walked out. I told the three of them when we were on our way home from the hospital, my daughter broke her knee. I said, we got to be strong for the three of us. And last night when me and my daughter broke down, we both told each other we're going to be there for each other the whole time. Because we still got to get this guy, man. We got to face him in court. I feel no sorrow for that dude. I hope he's in the hospital hurting because he killed a family.
Yeah.
Major, you've been strong for a lot of people. Now people are going to be there for you and help take care of you, and you're going to take care of each other through this. I know it's not easy, and I know it's going to be a tough several days and weeks and months, and some of the pain's never going to go away, but you helped a lot of people. You helped a lot of people, and I want to thank you for what you've done, and I want to thank you for talking to us tonight, and please take care of yourself. Your wife and daughter, give them giant hugs for us.
But before you go, I want to apologize for the people that didn't get their kids.
Damn.
Because all of them deserve to have their kids home tonight.
There's no question about that. All those people deserve to be home with their families tonight, and they're not. Former Army Major Richard Fierro, again, thank you for what you did.
Thank you.
You are a hero. Our best to you and your family.
Wow. I wasn't ready for another emotional thing. Jesus. I can't with this. It's like, it's just too much going on lately, man. Because that vigil got me really kind of emotional too. But this is, it's sad to see. I mean, I'm glad that like this guy was there though, you know. Because sometimes it just takes one person to kind of rile up other people to help out and put an end to something. I flashed back real quick to the Night Stalker real quick. I remember they beat his ass too. The community beat his ass down. This guy was running for I don't know how long, and they finally caught his ass in the streets. And the community beat his ass. That's why he has all this shit on his head, and held him down till the cops got there. Not that this guy feels any kind of remorse or anything. Richard Ramirez. They should have beat him more. Should have kept beating him. But I guess, you know, it's important too to go to trial and stuff. Oh.
Thank you.
Another thing that I'm working on, and this made me think about this. I'm going to just take this clip. I am working on a weird story stream for us too. You know, every once in a while I do like these weird stories and we go through a couple of different things. We're just like, what the hell? We're shaking our heads. So I am going through a list of that. One of these days I'll do a stream on that. Another clip that I had for us to watch, I guess, while we hang out. This is we saw a small clip of this guy, but they have a full version of it here. The survivor. Not the best quality, but.
So I just want to start out. This is very hard. It's the first time something happened like this to me. But I just want to say that we are all strong. The community is strong, and we will all get through this. I lost 2 of my dear friends in the shooting, and being in here, I could not go to any vigils. They took everything away as if they were trying to take my life as well. we had a safe space that we could all gather in, that we felt comfortable. And we always went back. Unfortunately, or luckily, Jeremy was not with me that night, or who knows what the situation would have been. But we're glad that I am here, and I want to send my apologies out and my sympathy to Derek and Daniel's family, and also to all of my friends that I consider family that have been affected by this in one way or another. And I don't know what else to really say. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I am sore. I took quite a few shots in different areas. I won't go into the details of exactly where, but the hospital has been amazing. I will stay making sure that I'm comfortable and not in a lot of pain.
Were you aware what was going on with this reporting? I mean, what was your thought process as this was all happening to you?
I had no clue that any of it was happening until I noticed certain events unfold there. I was up by the front of the building, so I pretty much heard it first, along with everybody else that was up by the door. And after that, I don't know what happened. I don't know anything, because I just hid.
Would you clarify, I'm sorry I didn't hear, did you say you were hit several times by gunfire? Is that what you said?
Right now, it's just a small, like, shrapnel is what they found.
Who were you with at the club that night?
I was with myself. I just went, and then while I was there, I met two people that were also victims.
Can you describe what was going on, the last things you remember before that moment ended?
Everybody was having fun. Music was playing, everybody's talking and laughing, just like always.
Can you share what it's like being a safe haven, having Club Q here in Colorado Springs?
It was nice. That has always been one of my mom's biggest worries and concerns, is going out and being gay and not having somewhere to go. But when I was welcomed into Q by a bunch of people, I knew I had a home. I had a safe place, and they made sure that everybody knew that it was a safe place.
What do you expect the mental recovery of trying to reclaim that safe space to be like?
Honestly, I can't imagine. Because for me personally, I will be uncomfortable going anywhere for a long time. Which, is it fair? Yes. Is it, or is it not? But for my mentality, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel safe being around or with strangers anymore.
Can I ask you how long you've lived in Colorado Springs?
I've lived in Colorado 18 years, and I've been down in the Springs for like 5.5.
I spent my day talking to folks who have spent about 20 or 30 years here, and what I'm hearing is that, when folks say they arrived in the 80s, for instance, or the 90s, that they knew when they arrived here that they shouldn't talk about sort of their identity. But that today, things are markedly different. and this is, it feels like a pretty welcoming place. And I'm curious if that squares with you and if this event changes the way you view that at all.
It does. We live in a smaller town as well, and we were both very uncomfortable moving down here. And when we did, we started meeting people, and everybody was like, you are who you are, who cares? And then that mentality kind of starts going on, like you are who you are, when your friends or people that you just meet don't care.
Did you get a good look at the shooter, and have you ever seen it before?
No, I'm probably the only one that hasn't watched any news. I haven't Googled anything. I've not looked any of it up at all.
What would you like to happen to the person accused of the shooting?
That, I don't know. Just as long as he gets the justice he deserves, is all.
If you could say anything to the shooter, what would it be?
I would probably say, why don't you meet somebody and get to know their true heart before passing judgment? Because he really did harm a lot of pure, true hearts that I don't know if they'll be the same.
Did you say that you knew 2 of the people who died?
Yes, I knew 2 of them.
Did you say which 2 of them?
I knew Derek and Daniel.
You said you were hit by shrapnel.
Yes.
Can you share with us where you got hit or how many times you got hit? How many places you got hit?
Just in my rear end and my arm. That's it.
Is there anything like you'd like to say to the individuals that helped take down this suspect at the time?
Yeah, they're my hero. You guys that took him out are my hero. And I know I've been at the club a time or two, one of them because I just saw his picture today. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Have you ever seen the suspect at the club?
I don't even know who he was or never saw him inside that night.
Yeah, I wonder if that guy's gotten in there before and like staked it out or anything. Or was it just completely random? Picked a club, a gay, LGBTQ club randomly and decided to target it, or has he been there before a couple times, staked it out? Yeah.
Did you attempt to hide? You mentioned you may have blacked out when the shooting happened. Do you know where you landed, or where you ran, or where you...
I just went up in a corner, just out of the way, because I didn't want to be out in the middle of the floor. So.
Would you please, I'm sorry, would you please clarify that? You said you ran and hid in a corner? Is that what you said?
I didn't run. I kind of crawled against the wall in a corner.
Did you see the people subdue the gunman?
No.
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 What did you hear when you were hiding?
When I was hiding, I heard nothing. It was all quiet so I don't know how quick or where they took the gunman down, because nonetheless, I had just panic, fear. I wasn't trying to pay attention to anything going around me, just trying to focus on me.
And then you said you heard it. You said that you were in the front, you heard it. What did you hear? Can you describe that for us?
I just heard the gunshots. And I don't recall how many or anything else, but there was the gunshots going off, and then I ended up falling.
This has happened around the country dozens of times in the last couple of years. Have you ever thought before about how you would react to something like this happen? Have you ever felt like you could possibly in a situation as an active shooter?
I never imagined anything like this, because I've had a lot of, I guess, hope and pride in Club Q. That was our family, and that's what they have always stated, that this is your home, this is your safe haven, safe space. So that was the least of my worries and concerns.
Why were you willing to come and talk to us today and share your story?
To get the love out there, just to show that we are united. We are, no matter here or not, that we're here. And we are who we are. We all have hearts. We all love and care, just like every other one of you. And we're one person's child, just like your person's child, like your child could have been there, or could have been around. We're just spreading the love, is all. Saying we may be hurt, broken, and down right now, but we will be strong again.
Do you have a sense of how close, the closest you were to the gunman? And did you get a good look at him at any point?
I got no looks at him.
How close were you?
I was probably from me to you, maybe 20 foot or so. But I wasn't expecting to be looking around or trying to find somebody.
And how old are you?
I'm in my early 40s.
Did the suspect say anything at all? Did you hear him talking or saying anything at all?
I didn't hear any talking at all. I just heard a few screams, and that was it.
Any words that you heard among the screams that he...
No, and it wasn't until later, after the officers got there, that I heard he's over here, and that was it.
Any words for the first responders that came to you and aided you and felt
Just
hope?
so much thanks to them as well. I know they were there extremely quick, and they started getting everybody out extremely quick as well.
Okay. Just wanted to get just most of that. I wanted to show this also as well. It's the whole non-binary thing, which, by the way, I guess it's I mean, they're charging him. I don't know if that's going to help his defense. We'll have to see. I had this article up that I disappeared. There it is. So the suspect accused of entering a Colorado gay nightclub clad in body armor and opening fire with an AR-15 style rifle, killing 5 people and wounding 17 others, was charged by prosecutors with 305 criminal counts, including hate crimes and murder. So I don't know if he's going to try to fight this non-binary thing with the hate crimes and stuff. Let's play. I wanted to play this.
Natalie, when we started the show, we got a little bit of news earlier that the attorneys for the shooter are now saying that the shooter is non-binary, and the shooter would like.
She's literally roll her eyes. The only thing, I mean, and I don't want to get into the murky waters though, but like it's kind of like
to use the pronouns they, them. And this is for the court in all court papers. And that's what Anderson Aldrich's attorneys are saying. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that's complete ludicrous. I believe they're just saying that because they want to have the easy way out on this. That's really, really offending, especially being a transgender woman myself, that a male, which it was obvious with the mugshot, that's a man, that's not a non-binary person.
But the only thing like with this person's comments though, the only thing I have to say, I mean, to be fair, is like this guy, I believe he's pulling off some ploy, probably or his lawyers or some shit. But now you're also, it seems like, judging this person by how they look to say that that's a man. I thought non-binary could be man or woman or whatever. Like, or if they, isn't that non-binary that they don't identify as either male or female, I thought, right? I have to ask one of my friends. So you can't just say just because I thought the thing is if that's how the person identifies, that's how they identify, no matter how they look. Isn't that what that is? That's where I think it's tricky, you know what I'm saying, to especially legally, that you're gonna say, well, based on how they look, they're not non-binary. If this is what, let me see the rest of what they're saying.
Because in no way, shape, or form could they appear as a woman the next day. It's really offensive to even hear that they're playing that role. And if they're non-binary, why would you go after the club where you feel safe at? Why would you do that to a community where you are welcomed in if you are non-binary?
So, yeah, I don't know. This is what I'm like. I was thinking this child might be kind of interesting, but I mean, literally,
complete ludicrous. I believe they're just saying that because they want to have the easy way out on this. That's really, really offending, especially being a transgender woman myself, that a male, which it was obvious with the mugshot, that's a man, that's not a non-binary person, because in no way, shape, or form could they appear as a woman the next day. It's really offensive to even hear that they're...
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be interesting. There's no way this guy's going to pull this off, though, the defense. But I don't know if they're trying to avoid certain, you know, hate crimes or whatever by stating that this guy's non-binary.
Public defenders.
There's another clip that I wanted to show. This is going to be like the big thing for this, of these attorneys saying this guy's non-binary.
Say, quote, Anderson Aldrich is non-binary. They use they, them pronouns. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's not anything that we had heard from his background. You know, people have been looking into his background. And I don't know if anybody here, are you guys lawyers? I mean, you know, I don't know if, I don't know what to say about that.
And then I also wonder, is this like the ultimate troll attempt at the end of this thing? You know, like, is this, but his lawyers would have to be in on it.
I mean, that's what he's now saying.
I was trying to see if there's any more. And the thing is, I mean, still, let's even give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that he was non-binary. It could still be considered a hate crime. Can it? Just if you're a certain demographic, and just because you go kill a bunch of people that within that certain demographic, and you're the same demographic, it's still a hate crime. Or does it absolve you because you're the same? Absolve you from that? You know, it seems like it was specifically targeted towards those people. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens with that. It's gonna be interesting to see what comes up. I know I'm gonna start the chat on fire. You're not male, you're not female, you're just you. Yeah, that's what I thought that was about, you know, but I definitely don't know the whole, I'm not definitely not an expert on it. That's what I was thinking too. The 3 McGee says, I think that's the goal, claiming to be non-binary to avoid the hate crime charge. Shit. All right, well, I guess I'm going to get out of here for now, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I don't know what we're going to do later. I'll see. I don't have any notifications for a couple hours. And I want to work on one video that I think you guys might find really interesting and actually maybe get a laugh out of it. And it's not a bad ending, but it's weird. It's super weird. So, all right. Take care, guys.